think I need another cheeseburger.
Taking around with fucking mascara on his fucking temples, leaking like Candy Fade Baker, just fucking gutted a fish.
I think it's really more about a time when Hollywood thought that Gary Busey made for a decent father figure role model.
Some fucking big thing walks off the launch pad and goes, "Hello, everybody! I'm Bobcat Goldthwait," or something. I don't know. And
That would be incredible.
It's time for the middle classholes.
100% crazy conservative horse lady. Like
Yeah,
horse, you know how horse people can be really weird, especially when they're ultra conservative.
Yeah, she's in the red coat with the black turtleneck, all horse uniform. That's weird.
so she gave Governor of Delaware a run or multiple runs.
At least
she
they
didn't
run.
Shit.
Well,
I mean, she
tried.
ran.
She tried to. Yeah.
I mean, technically, she put her name in the hat, so they have to, I guess, express like the adjective is yes, she ran. But as for his money, not a goddamn chance. No.
Okay. Lacey what?
Lacey Lafferty.
Lacey Lovelace?
Holy sh! And if she hears this, she will probably troll us until the day we die. She'll probably try to
Word?
get us canceled. Oh yeah,
Let's do
Absolutely.
that. Oh man, you know what? You know what's gonna make us fire back up the Twitter machine? This, Lacey Lafferty, we're coming for you.
This is the type of chick that'll leave a bear trap on your driver's seat though, and fucking watch you die and tape it.
How dare you parade around horses for sport? You vile creature.
I'm still trying to get by. Super conservative horse people are by their very nature crazy? Is that what you were telling us?
Yes.
Horse people already have a little bit of a screw loose, okay? To love an animal that dearly that could maul and kill you. I don't know. There's something about horse people. I mean,
I think is
horse girls are kind of hot because they have to be in shape to like, you know, mount and you know, move that giant beast around. Mm-hmm. But horse girl culture, there's something off about them. And when they get into that ultra conservative lane, oh, everything goes off the rails real quick.
They're like $100,000 dogs. even more than that too. And like, yeah, I can see what you mean, Mer. I've done a couple horse girls. They're pretty nice.
It's funny when you say it like that. Ultimately, I think of a woman who looks like a horse, which isn't that weird horse girl.
Hey, man. There's nothing else to call them. Horse girl work.
Well, I think it has to do with like the personality type you have to be able to take care of a horse, because there's all sorts of shit. Like we took the boy horseback riding. And, like, before you can even get on the horse, it's like you got to parade the horse out. Then you got to, like, stroke him. And then you got to brush him. And then you got to lay the blanket on the back. Then you got to set the saddle. You got to do all this shit. And then when you're done, you got to do it again. So I just think it's kind of like this. You come up with this weird routine of, like, almost like Law and Order. And when you're already really into law, order, and God, all these things kind of coalescing together. Uh-huh. Creates for a very strange psychosis.
Hey, might as well run for governor, you know? Feel like you run the farm, you run the pasture, the horse farm. Of course, you're a horse woman or man.
I think, just generally speaking, modern American politics has started to call out to a strange breed of person, and on all parts of the spectrum. Everybody, like. Doesn't matter. You're getting all the crazies coming out. Anybody who can get their local sandwich shop and like the fucking Jiffy Lube to sponsor them for fucking councilmen is just getting into it and making commercials. And that's really my favorite part, guys. That's what I want you to know.
Yeah, I feel like the general public doesn't need to be involved in politics. I run into Joe Public, and I'm a conservative. I just want to put that point out there. Like, I'm mocking conservative horse people, but, you know, again, there's a fine line between being a sane person who pays attention to politics and being an insane person who pays attention to politics. And like the other day, I ran into somebody and I was at work and they were real too close to my face. And I said, hey, can you just back up a little bit? I was like, nothing against you. It's just, COVID. I'm just trying to be precautious. Like, you can't catch COVID from me. I'm type O negative. I can't catch it and I can't spread it. I'm like, what? No, you live in this neighborhood. You have zero education. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about. But it's like even sickness is political now.
It's like I would have known if you left town and went to Harvard, sir.
Right. Yeah.
You did not.
We understand that you probably found that on the 50th Reddit search query that you could find in which someone said that. And you're like, yep, found it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Fact.
Yeah. And any website with Chan at the end of it is probably a bad fucking news source is all I'm saying.
But in that moment, I instantly, from that ignorant statement right there, I instantly knew what side of the political fence they were on because I knew what type of literature, I know what kind of sources are putting out that type of literature.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, like, did you get your medical degree at the same place you got your face tattoo? I mean, this person doesn't need to be involved in the political landscape. And I'm sure they voted by mail because they didn't have to go anywhere. And they could use their number 2 crayon to fill out their fucking ballot from their fucking coffee table.
That's super unsecure mail-in ballot. Fucking, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Brandon, you got a red crayon, and all I got's blue. I ain't filling this out with blue. I'm filling this out with red.
It's so unsecure, but it's so convenient. What do we do?
It's the best of both worlds. I don't have to catch COVID. I can still bitch about the results.
Okay, there's no way I'm going to catch that thing that doesn't exist if I mail in my ballot.
Hey.
Oh, God. Guys, while we're on the topic of ridiculous political things, so I know I sent you guys an article about this fine gentleman who's been bouncing around the country a little bit, just running for office, trying his hand, just trying to Matt Gaetz his way into the fucking House of Representatives, I think is what he's trying to do. Did you guys take a peek at this article at all?
Dan Rodimer. I thought he was a porn star.
Okay. I got to see I saw the headline, and then I saw about 3 sentences before the Wall Street Journal's fucking paywall popped up on me. And I was like, I ain't paying $1 a week for this shit. Fuck you. I get the gist.
I thought about that when I sent it too, because it's the Washington Post. So I'll recap it for you, Mur. Our friend Dan Rodimer, or Big Dan Rodimer, as he likes to go by, he is a son of the great state of New Jersey, the Garden State. Apparently, my man just really has the passion for politics. So this New Jersey boy, who apparently was a pro wrestler, but I can't find anything as to where he pro wrestled. Maybe like New Jersey, professional wrestling. I know that's, state circuits are a thing. So maybe he got in there. But either way, Dan has bounced around the country, getting himself into some mischief. He moved to Nevada. He ran twice on the GOP ticket, I think once for Congress and once for something else. He failed, lost both of those guys. And now my man has uprooted his family of 6, his wife and 5 children, and taken them down to Texas's 6th congressional district so he can run for the open seat that is down there. There was left vacant by, I think, a gentleman who passed away not too long ago. I think of the COVID, coincidentally. So Big Dan Rodimer has rebranded himself from the polo-wearing Nevada socialite to Big Dan bull riding professional wrestling rootin' tootin' cowboy that he thinks is going to win him the 6th district. Guys, I gotta show you a little bit of this commercial.
Yeah, Mur,
I think you guys are gonna get a big kick out of it. Mur, I think you're gonna love it.
Oh no, I know I'm gonna love it.
I fucking love it, dude.
I've already got a fucking smile.
And I'm just the screen capture of this is actually like relatively decent production value.
It's good.
Regardless of what you think about the ethics of this guy, just I'm going to find somewhere where I can be a politician. Somebody push that aside. This is good work.
Somebody paid for the premium upgrade of iMovie. 100%. Do I have screen share capability? Can I get that?
There you go.
Okay, thank you. So we'll pop this bad boy up here. Big day in Rhode Island. All right, you guys see that?
I see Big
Oh,
Dan.
yes.
All
All right. For those just listening, we're starting off at the rodeo.
Yeah. It says "Make America Texas Again." Let's just start there.
Oh, yes.
I think you ought to pause it and turn that up just a little bit.
Jobs in the world. Professional wrestling, politician, and bull riding.
Ooh.
Let's go, boys.
Oh. Damn.
We call that bull Nancy Pelosi. It's the beast.
Now that's Texas tough, baby. 2 out of 3 dirty jobs done. I'm Big Dan Rodeheimer. Texas has big problems. We need a big fighter to solve those problems.
This guy.
The communists in D.C. are ruining America. We have a big problem. Texas. Send Big Dan to Congress. I know how to handle Nancy Pelosi.
It's my favorite part. One of my favorite parts coming up.
And I'll put a boot right in her socialist platform.
Oh, he stepped in
Look what I
two.
already did.
Go, got her. Zingers. It's full of zingers, guys. There's like another minute and a half of that. I won't put it all.
And it pauses
that,
at
but,
men and women's
yeah.
bathrooms.
Men in women's bathrooms. Yeah, there's tons of it, guys. I'll post this. I know I've been slacking, so I will post this on the page, on the Facebook page.
Yeah, you know what
this is good stuff.
This reminds me of? Okay, and this is. I hate to bring it to this level, but it's immediately where my mind went, and it's like a guy. It's almost like a pro wrestler. Okay, not Dan Rodeheimer, who claims to have been a pro wrestler, but you said you did your due diligence and couldn't find anything, any indie circuit anywhere that Dan Rodeheimer or Big Dan or New Jersey Dan or Las Vegas Dan or Texas Dan, anything of that sort wrestled. Regardless, what I'm saying is that this reminds me of a pro wrestler who went out under his first gimmick and it didn't work after about a month. And they're like, all right, look, we're going to have to rebrand you as Big Dan. All right, let's do it. I'm in.
I was going to say, let me point out. Hold on. I will show. I'll share one more screenshot of him. So this was Big Dan on the left here. After he was, after his wife called the cops on him in Nevada while he was running for office because he was getting a little crazy. Got a little angry, started breaking some stuff. Didn't abuse her from what I understand, but he had to make an apology. So I don't know if Texas is looking at Big Dan Rodeheimer, bull riding aficionado, or Lacoste polo wearing Dan from Nevada. He just seems a little disingenuous to me. So I wondered what Texas is going to think down there.
Mur, before you dive in, if you look here, this is his entire family. I mean, this one over here, she just looks absolutely thrilled to be in the mix. But go ahead, Mur.
Well, I mean, she looks 16, and every 16-year-old sitting with her family kind of has that general look on her face.
Guys, we got to do an interview on the news because your mom's pissed off that I broke the dining room table in anger. Sorry, guys.
Here's the thing, though. I will say that the more pandering photo actually looks like the polo wearing photo. He looks a lot less comfortable in the polo shirt than he does in the fucking flak jacket and cowboy hat. Isn't politics pandering anyway? I mean, it shouldn't be, but generally, if politics is pandering to a base, then I would say he's doing it really well. That's how Trump did it. And so this guy goes to, obviously he's running in an ultra. I'd like to look up the Texas Congressional 6th District, and I'd like to see where it is. I just have a sneaking suspicion it's somewhere west of the center of the state. and he's probably saying he's probably hitting all the buttons.
All
He's
right,
probably
let's
hitting
find out.
every button there is to hit to win.
Households with
it is.
less than half internet access, that way they can't do real dirt digging investigative work on his lack thereof of professional wrestling.
Dial-up.
Yeah.
It is southeast of the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Okay.
So that's pretty
yeah,
central.
Not very. Let's see. I mean,
it's
president.
like-
Let's put it presidentially. They have always been. They've always been Republican since 2000, but slowly declining. Bush had 66% of the vote in 2000. Trump had 51% of the vote in 2020. So conservative, but how conservative?
Yeah.
Maybe he wants
Well,
to make
I
believers
don't
out of him again.
I mean, he definitely stepped in the socialist agenda, so I'm fucking here for it.
Well, at least he's all in one way or the other. He's all in. You know, he's pushed all of his chips to the right side of the table. He's going full bore.
He definitely isn't shy.
Hey, you know-
he doesn't back down.
Stone Cold Steve Austin was once Stunning Steve Austin, and he was a member of a tag team called the Hollywood Blondes with Brian Pillman. So I'm just, sometimes you rebrand yourself. Maybe old Dan wasn't who he was in Vegas. Or was it Nevada? Right? It wasn't. Yeah, Nevada. Sorry.
Nevada, yeah.
What else is there in
So
Las Vegas?
I
Exactly.
think my favorite part of the whole thing was at the very end. I guess so. There's a shit ton of people running. No, we don't even know if Big Dan is using if his money's actually going to go to any use whatsoever. There's like 22 people running for that seat in the district. So either way, at the very end, I guess one of his competitors, a Democratic candidate, left him with this statement. I know you're new around here, so let me introduce you to an important Texas phrase: all hat, no cattle. It doesn't take a bull to notice someone completely full of it. Zig-zag. Yeah. American politics. Let's fucking keep pushing us down.
Here's the thing, though. That video is going to go viral, right?
Oh, yeah. It already is.
And so I don't know, man.
I will
It's
say,
one
though,
of these.
he is, sorry to cut you off, but he is
No,
getting, he has gotten some negative press from other congressmen. Like Matt Gaetz from Florida was like, this guy's a fucking joke. Like, look at him. I think Ted Cruz was like, you should come down here and run, but has since been like, I don't know, Big Dan, that was a little, that video was a little much, bud. So I don't know. We'll see how it pans out. I think he's he's not playing a bad game, but I think he might have done it a little too soon. He didn't separate himself. He was like, I ran last year. Let's just try it again like this, though.
But I guess something like this gets you back into the top of the pack, though. Right or wrong, it gets you noticed, and then it makes you one of the top 5 that people are talking about. And then he can backtrack. He's obviously good at rebranding himself. So he's like, all right, I just wanted to catch some attention with that. I just wanted to catch some attention with that video. Here's what I really stand for. And he can come in and maybe tone her down just a hair, I mean, look, everybody said Trump had no chance because he was so brash and brazen, and he almost embraced the grab him by the pussy thing, and that got him above Jeb Bush and Mitt Romney and all these like legitimate Republican candidates, and then he ends up fucking winning the field.
He didn't.
So
run against
I don't know.
Mitt.
Huh?
Mitt wasn't in the 2016 primary.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm just saying though.
I
You know what I
understand.
mean? Like
yes. Yeah.
He was able to topple the most prominent Republicans of this era, and it was by being Big Dan. Just Trump didn't ride a bull.
That's true. Well, I mean, a lot of people don't think Big Dan did either.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Okay. I understand that you have. I defer back to. Do you guys remember when Hillary ran for Senate in New York, and you were trying to figure out how's that possible? Oh well, the Clintons have money and they have a fucking home in New York, and they have I think they had split residency in Arkansas and New York. I think Hillary was living. I think by that point they really weren't living together all that much, and she was living in New York most of the time. But my point is,
Bill was playing saxophone on his fucking porch, sipping sweet tea and smashing interns on his way into Dementiaville.
hell of a life.
Hey,
Hell of a life.
Pretty good.
Can't knock the guy.
Hey, Chelsea, why don't you have some of your friends come over a little later on this afternoon? Nah, you don't need to be around.
Just fucking on the porch, just fucking jamming.
I call this love in D minor.
I prefer love in A minor.
I guess I had a point. Okay, so what prerequisites do you have to run? Don't you have to be a resident? Don't you have to live in a place for a certain amount of time and claim residency? Or it doesn't matter.
Every state's a little different. I'm pretty sure every state can kind of outline how they do things. So apparently, and there's a lot of guff around this. So like, I'm here for the comedic element of this commercial, but there is a legit Washington Post article around it. He apparently did live there previously. Well, he lived in Texas previously. He lived around like the Houston area and owned a home in Galveston, none of which are the district he's now running in. But he has since moved his family to this district. And that's why he's kind of making a run at it. I think, like we've all kind of said, he's pandering, and he saw this district as the prime district for him to kind of come and rebrand himself and try to run in because it's wide open.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. As long as he keeps chucking out commercials like these, I'm in. I'll fucking move to Texas and vote for him. Fuck it.
Big Dan. Pro wrestling.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. What's worse, though? Is Big Dan worse than Hillary, or are they the same? Because kind of like what you were alluding to with like Hillary running in New York, it's like, you aren't from fucking New York. You're from fucking Arkansas. You lived in D.C. for 8 years, and now all of a sudden you're going to be a senator in a state that you collectively have, I don't know, spent 4.5 hours in? I mean, what... You know, like that. I don't know. It does seem odd.
Go ahead, Alan.
I was gonna say no. I mean, it's exactly the same. They're taking advantage of what they see as an opportunity. But like, I mean, I don't recall the commercial where like Hillary fucking strolls into New York and fucking faces a slice of pizza and then like punches somebody in the fucking neck on the fucking in the subway platform and then fucking like hops the gate and fucking it. I didn't see that. I didn't see her go full New York. You know what I mean? On her fucking Senate commercial. My man went Polos, Nevada to bull riding, fucking stepping in shit, Cowboys, Stetson. Like, he went cartoon with it.
Yeah. And he lied about being a pro wrestler. Remember, that's gotta fucking grind your gear a little bit.
The biggest issue.
Okay, now, I'm not. He's a big guy. All right, he's obviously a big guy. He looks like he's probably like injected like bull semen directly into his fucking neck. He's a rather robust man. Now, I don't know how up to code the the off-site, offshoot, independent pro wrestling circuit is in the great state of New Jersey. I don't know how the webmasters are operating that. Listen, I've been involved in local pro wrestling circuits. To put pro on the front of whatever it is they were doing is really suspect. So he might have just gone by a weird name. He might, you know what I mean? They might not have had it. The guys he quote unquote worked with in his pro wrestling circuit in New Jersey may not even have known the name on his birth certificate. He might have just gone by like, I don't know, the garbage chute, you know, and that you say, unless you know what his pro name was, you're probably never going to find it. It doesn't take much. I was a pro wrestler for a night, for God's sake.
An illustrious career.
Yes, right. An illustrious. I'm still the current Toys for Tots champion from 2009.
Nice. That's good stuff.
Mur, did you say that there was almost a gum trick pulled at work? Did I hear that correctly?
There was almost a what? Oh,
A
oh
gum-
no! Listen, I want to get it. Okay, fine. Someone, a specific coworker who was a big fan of the show.
Okay.
Started.
Thank you,
yes.
listener.
I don't think he was actually going to pull his balls out, but he works across the way from me and hey, I don't want to say her name, but I think I sat in some gum. Do you want to check? And of course, I kind of look over my shoulder, and he's just cackling, and he's like walking towards her crotch first, and she's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he's like, "I don't know. Look, I think I sat in some." And he's already up to mischief all the time anyway, so she's basically telling him to fuck off. He's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then he starts to explain it in the most graphic terms possible. And I think the explanation was probably worse than if he had just pulled his actual balls out and showed them to everybody. So it was just a moment where I'm just trying to stay out of it. I feel like if anybody at work starts to get completely tuned into this podcast, I might have some splaining to do, which I don't want to have to do.
Oh man, you know what the best part? So I just had a brief moment when and you were explaining it, and you were feigning his like, "Oh, I think I sat in some gum." That initiated a legitimate biological reaction in me to be like, something funny's about to happen. Because I've said before, I would hear that shit in a room and be like, "Oh, this is gonna be good. Watch this. Watch this."
Well, of course, I also work right next to like. I said fuck one time, and the Christian lady next to me like almost lost her shit. Okay, and so that's the environment I'm working at a blue collar job with a bunch of fucking misfits. One of them decides to reenact the Wesley Fox satin gum trick, and then it gets explained, and then that spawned 10 minutes of fucking nut puns. So it was just yeah. Thank you for that, Wes. You made a very uncomfortable morning of work for me.
What can I say? What can I say? You know, just spreading the love. Been doing it for 2 decades now.
Isn't that the point of this podcast?
Yeah. Hey, speaking of people that you work with or may not work with, or whomever, or just people that you work with that you think are just fucking whiny,
The whole population,
Or just people.
wine tits in general. A personal trainer who has an anxiety disorder triggered by body fluids has won a disability claim after refusing to pick up a sweaty towel in a gym that she works at. You may think that this is odd, but Allie Burton, 27, who works at Nuffield Health Club in West Sussex, was forced to say no to bosses when they asked her to pick up a used towel from a gym floor that after just weeks on the job. So before starting the job in May 2019, the personal trainer had told managers that her anxiety disorder would be triggered by touching items with hygiene issues. So essentially what it boils down to is that Miss Allie here did not like sweat or sweaty towels. A boss told her to pick it up. She said, "No, I'm not picking that up. I'm a trainer. I don't do things like that." And she's walked away with, I don't know, it's like did you guys see a dollar figure? I didn't. But she won a ruling, and unlawful harassment. She's expected to receive compensation of an amount not yet decided. I don't know what that is. That's millions of pounds, yen, pesos, dollars, Canadian dollars, whatever.
it's probably however much her year, like whatever her year salary is plus like legal costs. So it's probably like, I'd say it's probably like $100,000 in compensation.
No, personal trainers don't get paid $100K.
I'm saying with what she's already made year to date.
Yeah.
Plus what her yearly salary would be.
Yeah.
Plus her legal costs.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dial it back and get away from what she may or may not be compensated. Okay, a personal trainer who has an anxiety disorder for bodily fluids, in this case sweat, is worried about picking up towels. So what else does she do? Is she scared of herself? Does she not actually work out? Does she
or does she, like, is it just clothing and like cloth items, or is it sweat period? like
Yeah.
visible sweat on my brow, would that send her over the edge?
And you know,
Or-
as a trainer, she likely doesn't use the CNC Music Factory song to lead groups into exercise. I mean, you can bet your bottom dollar. Sweat.
Jesus.
I kind of find this funny, only because I feel like you reap what you sow, and there's this whole the generation, I'd say, like maybe just underneath you guys, the woke culture, if you will, the woke generation. They've really spawned this kind of bullshit, and I hate it, but I also can appreciate it. Anybody that can go that distance and on something that ridiculous and win, I kind of applaud them. How do you justify becoming a person who is afraid of these things, and then it's your job to produce the thing? So you're afraid of sweat, but it is literally your job description to cause sweat.
Yeah.
You hate bodily fluids, but it is your job to create body fluids in other humans. Now, normally people that are like this, that have these types of phobias, they're not afraid of themselves. So I'd say, yes, she can work up her own sweat. But as a personal trainer, can you stand back? Can you be hands off when you train somebody? You can just kind of like you're watching tape. It's just like 4D tape, like with a person in front of you. I don't like your form there. Why don't you bring your elbow up? Do you have to touch the person?
Well,
how'd you get away with it all this time?
And is it touching, physically touching, or is it like seeing it? Like if I sweat through my shirt, is she gonna pass out? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I've got questions.
Yeah, my guess from the context clues of the article is that it doesn't have anything to do with sight or proximity. My guess is, one, she led classes, so like spin classes, or she was in front of a group of people. Two, no sight. It's only touch. She didn't have to touch towels, mats, a mop. Maybe a mop would help out. We're coming across, I don't know. It just seems like a swim instructor who has a fear of water. To me, in my opinion, maybe that's a little, I don't know, outside the box. Just you're how the hell can you be an effective fucking coach or fitness instructor if you have a fear of sweat?
Well, let me add this wrinkle to it. Maybe she felt like picking up this towel was like beneath her, and then she made up a bullshit reason to not have to pick up the towel. So I guess my point would be, like, maybe there's some other, there's a towel boy that like roams around, like a bus boy for the gym. And then the owner's like, hey, can you grab those towels? And she's like, that ain't my job. My job's to fucking train people. I don't pick up towels. I don't wipe down mats. I'm here to fucking teach spin classes, aerobics, and do yoga. And then she just doubled down. She's like, you know what? I got a fucking fear of fucking body fluids, bitch. Almost like, I remember one time at work, I was asked if I could clean the bathroom. So I'm like, fuck no. I didn't go to college and sign up for this particular job to go clean like my coworker's shit. So I'm not doing that. Now they didn't press the issue. They didn't press the issue, so I didn't have to go any further with it. But if they did, could I come up with a bullshit excuse for it?
Is that when you got fired at Sunoco?
I didn't get. Did I get fired at Sunoco? Oh no, I didn't get fired at Sunoco. Yes, I did get fired at Sunoco, but it wasn't for that. It was for I tore up a write-up sheet because the quote-unquote ass manager, I abbreviated assistant, the ass manager said I didn't do something that I did, so I tore it up. I was like, I did that shit, so no, fuck you, I ain't signing this.
God,
and then they fired me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So if she has fear of bodily fluids, how does she have any type of relationship?
It's a good point.
Condoms all the time?
Condoms, dental dams.
Okay. Was it Naked Gun where they had those body condoms? They were like legit condoms, but they were just the size of their body. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
They like rubbed together and it made that latex sound.
Because no shit, that's the first time, honestly, as a kid, because you got to remember, I'm old enough to where like I could go see that movie in the theater. That was my first experience with condoms and like seeing a condom. And imagine how fucked up I am now, because my first experience with condoms is a 65-year-old man sweating it up with Elvis's ex on screen with a full-length fucking rubber on.
Such a great film.
Who's the character that OJ played?
Nordberg.
It's just, Alan, this is a direct quote from you from about like three months podcast ago. You're like, yeah, if Nordberg ain't in it, I ain't watching it.
I ain't watching it. Facts.
That's just it. That's
no
just it.
parts of.
Here we are, about a half hour in Middle Class Holes. Foxman, Murr, Alan. Hey, listen, baseball started today. Unfortunately, the Orioles were postponed until tomorrow because they decide to play baseball on April 1st in Boston, and things like that are going to take place. But I've been a longtime fan of baseball in general. Today, I saw one thing that I've never seen ever in baseball. Are you guys familiar with what took place today at all?
Oh, I heard something fucking
all
funky
right.
happen.
So listen,
no.
Bert, I mean, you know the sport well enough. So if I were going to explain something funky, like an odd triple play, or just some sort of base running blunder or ump blunder that you were like, wait a minute. Yeah, I've never heard of that. I saw it today. It was unprecedented. First time I've ever saw it in baseball in my, I'd say now, like 35 years of being a fan.
Oh, I think I know what it is. Go ahead.
All right. Bert,
I'm a goddamned American, Wesley, okay? I'm an American born in the 1970s. You got me, okay? I understand. You don't need to fucking pander and patronize me.
I'm sorry. I'm running for Congress here in Baltimore.
Big Dan Rodheimer.
Big West Billheimer.
Big West.
You want to see me jump off the top rope like Jimmy Snuka? Fucking.
But with that said, just do me a favor. Don't use the numbers. Just tell me like the bases and shit because I don't know those.
Jesus.
All right. Rockies are hosting the Dodgers. Justin Turner's on first. I think there's one out. Cody Bellinger's up the plate. Slaps one left-hander, cranks one left center field. They think it's going to possibly be extra bases. They're not sure. So the guy on first just hauls ass. The guy at plate, Bellinger, hauls ass as well, thinking, this might bounce off the wall. This might be a double. This might be a triple. Doing the smart thing, hustling. All right. The left fielder runs up over the fence, makes the catch initially, runs into the fence. The shock and the force forces him to drop the ball over the fence. Home run. The guy who was on first, who at this point is damn near halfway between second and third, doesn't see this, turns around, starts running back to first because he thinks the left fielder caught it. The guy who hit the home run, who was hauling ass, is between first and second and starts his home run trot. And then immediately he's like, yo, what are you doing? Guy runs past him all the way to first base. By rule, it is an RBI single. The guy who hit the home run is out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
Wow.
That I was like, I said, I don't know, man. It was a home run. I didn't even know the rule. And I pride myself on being extremely knowledgeable on things like this. And I was like, wait, I mean, it's a home run. Doesn't matter. And even the guy who did it, the coaches came out. I think the umps even were like, yeah, listen, boy's out. It's an RBI single. So
They had to break.
yeah, they had to break something.
They had to break out a 1950s fucking Little League manual to figure that one out. Now, I knew somebody would. In that instance, I knew somebody was out, but I didn't know the home run was taken back and the guy was sent back to first, though.
No, so the guy wasn't sent back to first. He scores.
He scores.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
essentially, think of it this way: like the home run happened. So everybody else around him, the runner scores. He comes in, but because he crossed the base path as the other runner, he then becomes out. So the only thing you can attribute him with is the single because he's only legally touched the single, and then he was out because of the paths crossing. Yeah.
Now, when you say single, do you mean like a single run?
No.
No. So he'll be credited with a single. Like
he hit a single.
So even though he hit a home run, he can only legally be credited with what he legally turned the bases as. So he turned first. I didn't see it, so I'm assuming right around second, third they cross second.
First
they
and
cross
second.
pads, so he's out. And then
Okay.
homeboy who was on first already it treats that like the home run, so he scores.
Okay. So the guy who hits the home run is credited with a single. The guy that was on first is out. And a run also scores.
Guy who's on first scores as though the home run was hit.
The guy who hit the home run is out.
The guy
Nothing
who
like
hit
the first day of baseball.
The guy who hit the home run is out. Yeah. So it's almost like two different plays. Like the runner on first was involved in a home run. He comes in as an RBI. The guy who hit the home run because he made the blunder becomes out, and he's only credited with his legal base.
Oh my God.
And
you know
the guy who hit the ball is also credited with being extremely pissed off at the guy who was on first. And the guy who was on first is now credited with being the butt end of every joke for the next 6 months in the fucking clubhouse.
That's nuts.
And is going to be hated by every fucking travel ball team in the fucking country, because this is going to be a moment for every fucking dickbag coach to teach the fundamentals of baseball. Even the pros need to know the rules, and you got to pay attention. You got to look at your coaches, your first base and your third base coach. You got to look at the crowd around you. You got to pay attention. You can't be sitting there saying to yourself, ooh, I know what I'm doing. You got to, that's going to be the fucking speech you're going to hear around every little league for the next 3 months too. So way to go, assholes.
I like that's a George W. Coach team.
Right.
Gotta pay attention. Okay. You gotta watch your coaches. You gotta know the rules. You gotta know the fundamentals.
I'm the fundamentalizer.
Fundamentalizer. Have you guys been watching any of the NCAA tournament?
Not a stitch.
Okay. You guys said you weren't going.
Time in a long time, just nothing.
You guys said you weren't going to about 2 weeks ago when I asked you when the tournament started. That's fine. But you all are familiar with the AT&T package or commercials that have come out.
Oh yes.
You mean the service of AT&T?
That's
No. I know what Wes is alluding to. He's trying to beat around the bush here. Oh, Lily. The hot to trot chick that like she was there, she was gone. They brought her back.
Yeah, Melania Vadenrub responds to online body shaming. You've lost the privilege to look at it. Now, if you have watched the NCAA tournament, this package of ads has been a little more, I don't know, modest, a little less revealing, a little less tight. Hasn't showed her midriff or there below for a variety of reasons. She said she's received a lot of tweets, messages, things like that basically have called a variety of things in terms of body shaming. And she was flat out just said, you've lost the privilege of looking at it until I feel safe again. Baggy your shirts, etc., etc. Andrew, you feel like someone just stole milk from you, and you're having trouble breathing.
No, I don't know where to begin with this, because I feel like everything I'm going to say is going to sound like chauvinist and wrong and all of this nonsense. And Alan's just like,
I mean, there's no way, there's no good way to talk about this from our perspective. So,
well, look, bottom line is, okay, when you're on a screen and that's it, you're being judged, and you're being judged visually, and in this case, you're being judged physically. This is what it is, and this goes for men and women. I remember Chris Hemsworth, when he did one of the Thor movies, he was just like, yeah, for no reason at all, they told me to take my shirt off in this scene. Now, granted, he did a lot of fucking squat thrusts and bear claws and all that, mountain climbers, and
bear claws a hell of an exercise. I'll agree.
I was really struggling for exercises because I haven't done them in so long. But he got in great shape because for whatever reason, when you're an actor, they'd like you to look the part. And bottom line is, if you're going to be on screen pitching a product, they want you to be visually attractive. And she is. I mean, she's got a pretty face. She's got a badonk on her now, though. She put on a few pounds. She got a little curvier. And I would like to think that in this era, where body types of all kinds are being more accepted, she'd almost be flattered that after putting on like 30 pounds since her first commercial, that people still find her wildly attractive. The internet is full of scumbags, but if we're going to go ahead and start treating the bottom of the barrel as the norm, then we should just shut everything down now, because the bottom of the barrel is the loudest, most vocal. Negative comments get the most shares and the most likes. So basically, I guess the point is we're never going to see her from behind a counter again if that's the tactic she's going to take.
But I think Alan's got a great point, because I can see it in his eyes. I can just sense that he's going to make something. All I want to say is, if you're listening, Lily or
Vagina Rub,
AT&T girl,
you're beautiful.
Color AT&T girl.
You're absolutely gorgeous. All right,
Listen,
you are amazing, and I wouldn't worry about all this bullshit. That's all I want to say right now. I want to clear the air, because I think she yeah. I mean, don't worry about these mucks. Who the hell are these people? Who the hell are these New Jersey Dans coming out of the woodwork? Body shaming.
New Jersey dance.
I want to hear Alan's point, because he was already like shaking off my point because he could see it formulating in my head.
No, I mean, I was not even shaking it off. I mean, I agree with you. Like, you're on TV. It's going to happen. I mean, and men are terrible creatures. So I mean, I get it. But like, listen, AT&T girl, if you're listening, Lily, let's not act like that fucking blue button down covered up them things, because we've known you were chesty since fucking 03. All right. Mm-hmm. Now you've filled out a little bit more. I think you had a child. That happens. That changes your body in ways which have turned out positive for you. So I think you should just relax. I mean, I'm sure some dude said something fucking weird about your ear hole or your fucking your collarbone, or it's just something odd, but just shrug it off, man. You got that AT&T money.
Yeah,
you're fine. You're good,
dude. I was in the morning when I get up. I typically take about a minute to 2 minute long dump. All right, and I was I came across some Heidi Klum photos. You guys remember her? Sports Illustrated. All right, and I remember when I was probably 13, and there was don't know how Sports Illustrated got away with it. It was a sheer photo of her laying in the water with her nipples showing. Okay, I mean, it was nudity without being nudity, and you didn't have to be 18 to buy that. But we're looking at that, and it was like, ugh, I don't know, she's kind of gross. And I remember I thought, like, what? I beg your pardon? What are you talking about? Okay, fair enough. I don't get it, but. Yeah, that's all I want to say. Lily, you beautiful girl.
Doesn't it almost make it worse that she's trying to hide it? Because, look, as Alan said, men are terrible creatures. And I feel like if you hide it, you make it worse. Because then all the comments are going to be like, yo, show me that fat ass. Mm-hmm. Let me see that muffin bacon in the oven, baby. Yeah.
I'm going to use this example because it's something I spoke about with my wife earlier as an example of just men are like, I agree with you. You should own it. And like, people will just like, guys will still be kind of gross, but generally speaking, will be like, oh yeah, we know she's hot. Like, you don't hear guys like yammering on about Jennifer Aniston all the time, because we know, we've seen it. We're aware of it. It's there. When you start popping out in like, evening wear, and then we're like, whoa, AT&T girl. Yes. Then we get a larger reaction. And I say that because I was talking to my wife. Or did you guys remember the Cash Me Outside girl from Dr. Phil? The little white girl who.
Yeah.
All right. So she just turned 18 like a week ago. And immediately as soon as she turned 18, the entire internet was like, what's up with that OnlyFans, bitch? And it only took her about a week. Because like today she was like, all right, guys, here's these titties. So you know what I mean? It's the weight, you know what I mean? And that's a far more degrading weight. That's the more disgusting weight, the example that I'm using. I'm just saying, AT&T girl, guys are always going to be gross. If you hide it,
right,
we're going to be grosser because we're just like that. I apologize on behalf of us, but it is what it is. Murr does not. But I do whatever's that's worth. When we have you on the show one day, we'll laugh about this. It'll be good.
Wes, we need your take on this because you like to defer to us,
Yeah.
especially when there's like this pigeonhole argument of like, let's make them look like the scumbags.
No, listen, I agree with. I agree with Alan, but I also don't think, Murr, that you disagree that men are fucking vile and just absolutely disgusting. And for the most part, someone like this, Christ, I mean, the commercials, let alone, I'm just talking about social media and everything else, YouTube, or it's millions and millions and millions upon eyes. I mean, just the probability of the amount of scumbags, shitbags, no filter dickheads who want to be like, oh, either body shame or be like, oh yeah, let me see that ass, girl. Oh yeah, unbutton one more of those buttons. Let me see them tatas during the Final Four. I mean, don't judge things off of that. Okay, you're an actress. Pursue your dream. Make millions of dollars. You don't have to open an OnlyFans page like Cash Me Outside, fucking retard.
Yeah, she had no choice.
Yeah.
Well, she's made a lot of money. I mean, she's made a lot of money. Dr. Phil was on with the Rogan a while back, and he asked her about her, and he was just like, fuck. He's like, yeah, that's my one regret. I gave her a platform, and she ran with it. He feels guilty, like he made her worse. But she's at least taken her, like, psychosis and, I don't know, I guess in a way capitalized on it. I mean, if she wanted to shut all this stuff down, she's a millionaire. She's made more money now before 18 than I'll make in my entire life. Now she can choose what she wants to do with it. I guarantee, though, because men are disgusting pigs, that she's opened this OnlyFans account, that she's going to make millions of more dollars.
Oh, yeah.
And she still has 60 years left.
I'm just going to say, I came across I think her Instagram post for the OnlyFans, and I was like, look at the production value. The girl you went to high school with doesn't have that kind of an OnlyFans, is all I'm saying. So she's probably making, it's probably at a premium too. She's probably charging some astronomical number to look at fucking 18-year-old titties. I think OnlyFans is a racket, is all I'm saying. There's titties free on the internet, guys. Don't do it.
That's true. Yeah, but see, guys are such pigs. Like, we want specific titties. Like, we get greedy with our titties, and
I want that titty.
Exactly. I'll pay any dollar you want to see that nipple. That's all I really want.
I was hoping for titties, but I'll go for one. I'll even go for a side.
You get the pick, left or right.
I'll even go for a crop of a third of a nipple. I'll pay you $40 for it. But the other thing with the Lily commercials, the AT&T commercials, is that apparently she directs her own commercials, so she can do what she wants. Isn't that empowering? I don't know. I don't know. She seems to have all the power, and that's good. That's a good thing. That's a modest step in the direction that the world has been wanting to go for quite some time. And then to kind of like, I don't know. Something just turns me off about making it this sexist political argument.
Well, but hold on. Don't you think that in her eyes, if she's directing these, and the focal point of this is to sell AT&T as a brand of cell phone, well, then perhaps she wants to sway away the fucking sexual fucking nonsense. It goes, gold man girl looks hot, yeah. Like, this isn't what this is about. So therefore, I'm going to sit behind a desk.
I mean, to be fair, as a salesman, this is me put my salesman hat on. I know that AT&T's trash, right? So like, nothing that Lily's going to do in the commercial, besides maybe showing me some titty, is ever going to make me use AT&T service. Literally nothing.
Okay, hold on. So if you were to
her job is to try to pull me in, she should probably be using the titty. That's all I'm saying. I'm never going, even if she shows the titty, I'm never going to AT&T.
All right.
Unless it's the last thing on fucking planet Earth or the first thing on planet Mars.
Okay.
Fucking.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
If she were to show you a titty, how much more likely would you be to leave your current carrier service than now?
is the AT&T service still the same? Just I saw a
I
titty.
can't guarantee that.
Because
I know.
it's still like 5%, maybe.
Let me spice up the deal for you.
You'd be better off counting cards at a fucking casino.
It's very low.
How about this? How about if you sign up now for your new AT&T plan, your new iPhone, Alan, I know you're a fan, your new iPhone's home screen will be an OnlyFans nude photo of Lily on the home screen. Same service.
They push it to my phone automatically like that U2 album because I don't want that.
No, that's how the phone comes out of the box.
Oh, okay.
Her box out of the box.
I'd say yes because, and this is that meme with the guy tapping his head. Fucking, I will accept that deal because all cell phone contracts have a 15 or 30 day out. So I'll be like, look at this piece of fucking garbage ass iPhone. Look at that titty. Lily's got some good titty. All right, take this shit back. Verizon.
But Wes,
I'm coming back.
But back to your actual point though, like the point of the commercials is to sell AT&T product.
Yeah.
Like, has she not? The reason this article came up is because people, quote unquote, were noticing that she was not showing any more than her face in the commercials. So she's already distracted from the product. So now she's not selling AT&T. Now she's almost selling a movement. And I think, I don't know. I think that hurts the brand. And so now she's actually kind of gone away from doing her job.
Also, more to my point, what I said was that blue shirt isn't hiding shit, Lily. All right. We knew. We saw them. And the guys have now noticed that you stopped even showing them to us pressed against that one strained button on your fucking blue Oxford button down. You know what I mean? Yeah. We've noticed, and the market will correct itself.
Yeah, a long time ago, I typed in her name and then the word hot and ass and nude afterwards, and immediately went to the image port. And that's instinct. That's Pavlovian. The same way Alan felt about hearing gum trick or I sat in gum, the same way I'm like, ooh, yeah, boom, nude, ass, hot images. Okay, it's just
right. Or like say like if you see hot chicks in new shows that you see, you're like, who's that?
Boom. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whereas I even looked up
on Instagram.
I saw on Facebook a thing that said, hey, 15 facts you may not have known about Crocodile Dundee. And I IMDb'd the movie and looked up the hot blonde and then typed her name in and typed nude. And afterwards, and it wasn't anything more than like, I don't care about 15 interesting facts about the production of Crocodile Dundee. I want to see the blonde nude. Sorry, not sorry, man. Shit.
I would this is just an example. It's coming to the forefront of my mind because I just did it the other day. Because there's this superhero cartoon on Amazon right now, Invincible. It's pretty good, I gotta say. Well, one of the characters, you know, she's obviously hot even as a cartoon. So I'm like, who's the voiceover actress who does this character?
See? And then you had to look up her and see if she was hot.
And then I followed the exact steps that Wes has just described about the Crocodile Dundee lady.
It's hot, ass, and nude. That's the step because you want to be sure you get.
I skip ass.
You skip ass?
I do. Yeah, I skip ass. I do hot, and then I just go. Sometimes I skip even hot. I just go straight to
depending on get nude. Yeah, see it.
I've got a family. I've got limited time. Okay, time's valuable. We've got steps we got to skip sometimes.
What was that old website that used to catalog like nude scenes in movies? Do you remember?
Mr. Skin.
Mr. Skin.
Yeah, that's what it was called. Mr. Skin.
That nudography is the better one in my opinion now.
Excuse me.
That's another step if you really want to skip even past nude, West. If they're an actress and you just want to really just go straight to the meat and potatoes, you can just type in their name, Mr. Skin, and if they've done something, you've cut out a lot of photoshops.
Right.
Yeah. 14 minutes in, fucking side titty.
Shadow, possible nipple.
Not
Not sure. Cold set, Lots of underlighting.
Cold set.
Underlighting.
Like a warm, creamy chutney. Get ready for another spoonful of the middle class holes.
Welcome back to the Middle Class Holes. Foxman, Alan, Murr, coming at you. Murr, you had told us about this the other day. Turns out that people might be toxic, or within a couple hundred years of evolution. It was a little bit misleading, but I found it interesting.
No, I find it fascinating, too, because there is a huge theory that, this comes back to aliens, by the way. I'm not going to beat on that drum too hard here. But
okay,
there's a lot of alien conspiracy theorists out there who think that an extraterrestrial civilization may have visited us several, maybe even million years ago, and us being primates manipulated our genome and kind of created us to be what we are. But one thing that we've lost since we were primates is like all of our strength, but we gained all of this intellect. But what if we had gone the other way and became more primal? Well, there's an opportunity for humans to have toxic venom. There's some researchers, and they found that mice and even humans have the potential to become venomous, according to some new research. Scientists have found that the genetic foundation needed for oral venom to evolve is present in both reptiles and mammals, and said that their study shows that the first concrete evidence of this link between venom glands and snake and salivary glands in mammals does exist. So basically, like, what's the difference between, remember being able to gleek on people back in high school?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
And it's kind of very similar to like what like cobras are able to do when they spit venom in their prey's eyes. The research indicates that while neither humans nor mice are venomous currently, our genomes have the potential under certain ecological conditions to be that way. I cannot pronounce this Indian guy's name, but he joked that there's all sorts of reasons of this. Basically, venom in snakes is a cocktail of proteins, and the same genes that we have to create our saliva is very similar, at least in the operating program. It's just it creates a different set of proteins. Ours just isn't quite as potent. The researchers also looked at genomes of other creatures, including mammals like dogs, chimpanzees, and even humans, and found that they contain their own versions of these same genes that are used in snakes. Now, the article goes on, but I think we get the point here that if we if ecological conditions, like if there's a zombie apocalypse or something of that nature where we really have to stun and hurt our food, to like wild animals, to like stun them and incapacitate them immediately, our salivary glands might evolve over thousands of years to create venom. And that's amazing.
Yeah, I did. It's I got to tell you, when you first told me this, it obviously had to do. I thought about people who are just fucking ruts and sticks in the mud, and people who are just generally bullshitters and wine tits and mokes and whiny McWeinsteins all the time. Like, oh God, yeah, no shit. Now it turns out that these people may be able to evolve and shoot gleek venom, as you put it.
No, those people will never evolve, okay? These are for the fucking true survivors. I knew when you saw that article that you're going to think it was about, like, some, like, that's toxic masculinity. Oh, these people are so toxic, we need to cut them out of our lives. Like, I was just thinking, like, they're never going to open this. Thankfully, there was a snake head on the fucking thumbnail, so I knew I might actually grab your attention. But this brings me to a real question that I really wanted to ask based on this article. If it's possible for scientists to, give us venom, right? If they know that the building blocks are there, I'm sure through like a program like CRISPR or something like that, they could turn on those genes and make us venomous. What animalistic qualities do you think we should turn on to enhance the human species? I don't know that venom's necessarily the proper one.
Yeah, I was going to say,
any ability?
We shouldn't be shooting venom at fucking. It's just like a bad. Like, you can throw a fist at someone. then it's like, oh, I don't have to run the risk of breaking my hand. I just go and shoot venom at them now. But you're saying like animalistic, but no, run faster. What about that?
I was going to say because we are primates.
Yawn longer.
Yeah.
I was looking at Alan for an answer, and it's like, give me the fucking Wookiee yawn over there. No, I was thinking, okay, we're primates, right? Our closest relatives are the chimpanzee.
Right.
Chimpanzees are made from biological wood. Like, they will break your fucking face with the flick of their finger. So at some point, that was kind of like genetically bred out of us. What if we could breed that back into ourselves? You even go back like 100 years in this country during the Industrial Revolution, humans were just stronger because they had to be. We're soft, weak pussies. We got to spend hours in gyms just to get like a baseline level of strength to compete in the athletic world now. Like, where if you go back 100 years, I'd say everybody was at like a 75% level. So we're sitting at like 90% athlete and 10% athlete in the modern era. So why can't we just genetically go in and turn on like that hardened muscle fiber kind of fucking strength that we probably had a long time ago?
Sounds like you're making a push for steroids.
Sounds. I mean, there's the obvious is that there's some ethical ramifications when you're talking about genetic altering, which is like what we're talking about here. So, you know, there could be some potential consequences. Also, I don't think we know genes that well. I mean, we know them pretty well, but like, I don't know how well we know them to be like, all right, let's turn that one on and end up with not a fucking like, I don't know, a mutant of some sort that causes us very big problems.
A forest monkey.
You know what I mean? Like, I think you're overestimating what we can do. Now, as far as your actual question of like what would I like to have? I would like to have some wings. That'd be kind of cool.
This has to be something that that's present currently in the body that might be dormant, though.
Wings
like,
be.
for example, venom could possibly be something that we could produce naturally. We just don't have those genes turned on.
Wait, don't we have we have a tailbone? Would a tail do anything for us?
What about a tail? That's exactly what I was going to say. What if I get
well, what would you do with it?
I don't know.
I'd hang from trees.
Yeah. Make it awkward to drive.
Okay. Do you currently not hang from trees simply because there's a non-existent tail there?
I don't climb trees anymore. Not at my age.
You're a liar.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's like the difference, I think, between like what they call great apes and lesser apes is like a tail that can actually be used to like grasp things, and then like thumbs and hands. Like,
yeah, because we didn't need them anymore even that long ago. We just didn't need them.
But what if I had one?
What the fuck would you do with it?
I'd grab stuff with my tail.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. I'm telling you what I'm doing. It's like another hand.
Grab my girl by her pussy.
Grab stuff with my tail. You don't even have a like legitimate example of
I'd
what
grab
you would
a fucking beer off my table and drink
there
it.
It is.
There was
okay, there we go.
Too far away from my hand.
It was that. That's all it needed. Now I know most of any idea that I'll use it to get a beer, Murr.
I would
okay, well then, good.
I would tickle my friend's ear on the opposite side. Look to the opposite side. Oh.
Exactly.
Nope, not me. Mm-mm.
At least with mine, like the human potential is greatened. Obviously, like in industrial production, you would need less forklift usage because people could just lift shit around. You could carry more things. Blue collar jobs would be enhanced by a person who is genetically modified to, but not modified in a way that's freakish, like you're alluding to. Modified in a way that's just enhanced from our current form.
All right, what about eyesight?
There's a good one, Wesley.
Okay.
I can see my beer. I can see how many beers I have left from where I sit.
I just mean like no more
X-ray eyesight.
No more. Alan's gonna take you to agree. I was thinking about like no more spectacles, glasses,
Basically,
or contacts, and Alan's like, what about X-ray eyesight? Like
basically, all of my examples come from X-Men.
Yeah.
The tail. I was thinking of Nightcrawler. I even at one point was going to say I wish it had a sharp tip so that I could just spear people with it. But the eyesight, Cyclops, it's basically everything is about X-Men for me.
See, I thought you were going with Roddy Piper from They Live. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm the weird one in this equation.
I mean,
He couldn't remember Nordberg, O.J. Simpson's character from the Naked Gun series, but he can remember a movie starring Rowdy Roddy Piper.
It was an epic fight scene with actors whose name I can't remember. Ugh. Okay. All right. Maura, I think you know what time it is then.
Oh, it's time, my friends. It is time to plug a bullshit Facebook group called the Shin Splints Recovery Group. It is time for your Fun Fact Friday, being brought to you by the Shin Splints Recovery Group. You can find them online, on Facebook, possibly one of the fastest growing bullshit medical websites out there. So if you have any pain below your knee and above your ankle, go find the Shin Splints Recovery Group. There's a bunch of pussies just like you waiting to share your tales of bullshit runners nonsense. Let's get to it. It's Fun Fact Friday. I've got 5 fun facts for you fuckers right now. I want to start with the one that I put on Facebook earlier today. Alan, I know that your favorite animal in all the world is the duck-billed platypus. And so we'll start with that one, actually. We'll discuss this. Did you know that the platypus has mammary glands, but no nipples? Instead, the milk is released through the skin and collects in the grooves in the abdomen where babies lap it up.
I did not know that.
All right, so
Wes,
they sweat this out, or technically, is it kind of?
Yes, they literally sweat the milk through their skin, and then imagine like the seams of a soccer ball.
Yeah,
it collects in like the ridges of their belly, and then like the kids just come up and just start licking their gut.
So what if?
Milk.
What if you end up having a duck-billed platypus personal trainer who doesn't like bodily fluids? Where do we go here? How do you situate this in the duck-billed platypus world?
Oh, I guess that thing needs to be weeded out anyway.
That's survival of the fittest. That duck-billed platypus dies.
But is the trainer lactose intolerant?
Ooh, another great question.
That's the real question.
No, I did
not know that.
I did not know that the milk gathered like a mop style, and then the kids all just like kind of, carpet munched.
Right, like that's all the visual I'm getting is they just like sucking on hair, like it's just wet hair, and they're like, all right, thanks, good.
And it's gotta be off on land, right? This doesn't happen, below the water, and waiting.
Alan, I know that it's not necessarily Q report material or anything.
Yeah,
but I feel as though every 10 years, I learn like a brand new fact about the duck-billed platypus. Like, from kids, we've all laughed about the platypus. Everybody as a kid has found it like one of their most fascinating animals because of how weird it is. It lays leather eggs. It's a mammal, which it shouldn't even be laying eggs. It's got that weird duck face. It produces like an electric shock. We just learned a few months back that it's got fucking like venomous like spurs on its feet. I think we might need you to do a deep dive on the platypus.
I could do that.
Yeah,
I could certainly do that.
And we need to put this in the vein of like, what use does it have besides whimsical facts? Like, what's it doing for the environment? I know they always say like, well, we can't let this go extinct because of the ecosystem. What the fuck's the platypus doing?
I'm totally with you because as I stare at like an adult one sitting on what I presume is a riverbank, I look at this creature and I say, "What do you do? What purpose do you have, sir?" Like you're on land, but you have giant webbed feet. Doesn't seem adequate. Not understanding what the duckbill's for, like whatsoever, on land or at sea. So I'm with you guys. I think I'll write us a little middle class holes dissertation on the duck-billed platypus.
And how's this?
Keep an eye.
How's this thing licking milk off of like the belly when it's got that big fucking beak? Right? Like how's that tongue coming out?
I'm trying to
weird
find
fucking creature.
I'm trying
man.
to find a video of it, but I can't find a video of it. What
Dude,
it looks like,
duck-billed platypus licking milk off of mom's gut.
every time I type duck-billed platypus milking, it just takes me to Pornhub, and it's a totally different. It's a totally different kind of milking. So,
What
I'll
poor
have to
young
look
thing?
into it a little bit more.
What poor young thing coined herself duck-billed platypus?
She's a rising star.
Well, the actor that's the co-star's a rising star.
That's right.
Lactation. Apparently, so I think from what I'm gathering, and I'll do some more research on this. I think it like lounges like a human. You know how like dogs sometimes like sit like humans and they have their forelegs out in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
So she the mom basically like turns her body into like a little bowl, like hangs out, and then the fucking babies sit on her stomach. But because she's turned herself into a bowl, the milk pools.
Ooh.
And then the babies are just like. I think that's at least that's the gist of what I'm gathering here. I don't quote me on that. I haven't done field research.
Now this isn't a reenactment from Pornhub, is it?
No. This is what I'm gathering from biological scientific resources, not P-Hub.
Oh God.
The Pornhub was just a teenage girl with a plastic duckbill on her face. It was weird. it was strange.
Oh, moving on. With your Fun Fact Friday, did you know you can train your brain to slow down time by noticing more details? Humans process the world in 3-second increments, and cramming more stimuli into those seconds make time seem slower. The way everything slows down when you crash your car, but you can lose a whole day by watching YouTube. I don't understand that last phrasing. But yeah, basically saying that like our brains are so hardwired just to accept things as they are, that's how we normally notice time. But if you start honing in on the little minute details, it actually slows time down, theoretically, inside your own dome.
So that's an old philosophical brain trick to say live in the moment. I knew that when I took philosophy at Cecil Community College. He said live in the moment. But he also said athletes have a good good propensity to do that because you can kind of like, you know, you're so dialed into the task of, you know, kicking a soccer ball or passing or being strategic, yada yada. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, live in the moment. Slows the day down, man. Hell yeah. Enjoy yourselves. Get a duck-billed platypus. Fire it into the air.
Not to get too far down the scientific wormhole here, but no, when we were talking about like that guy that wants to build a spaceship that could possibly go faster than the speed of light, like there's been all this stuff coming out about black holes, and they've got a new picture of a black hole, and I never realized this, that the light that you're seeing from a black hole is actually light that has spun around the black hole and come out the other side. So the light that you're seeing is actually older than the light that's going around the hole itself. Is that so? Like, yeah. The light that if you shined a flashlight at a black hole and it zipped around, the light coming out of your flashlight is younger than the light that you're seeing, but the light that you're seeing is old. It's so fucking it's fucking wacky. So it just starts to like show you that time is just this thing, and we act like we can't do it. I don't know. I'm kind of going off the rails here.
How the hell am I supposed to slow down time after a story like that? Jesus Christ.
Well, I just wasted a lot of it, so you're welcome. Fuck, I'm like sweating because I realized how stupid everything I just said was, but it made perfect sense inside my mind. Moving on quickly. The sun is not yellow. It's white. We see it as a particular color because of the light that's able to pass through the atmosphere. Most photos of the sun have been altered to be the color that we are used to seeing, but in space, it's just a big white glowing ball. Why do they do that? Like, why do they, why do they put the yellow filter on and all that shit?
The same reason old artists made Jesus white, instead of Arabic, which he was.
Okay, good. Now I feel better about my time fucking discussion. The fuck does that mean?
Well, it's just like the way people saw it, Like, yeah, sun's orange, sun's yellow, orange and yellow. Not white.
It's also how we see it, but yeah, that is neither here nor there, I guess. Yeah, I did know that, so I did know it was white. Yep.
I didn't.
Does that offend you, Alan?
Did the sun's white? I mean, nah, not
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
The sun
Give her a life is white.
No, because I like to think of it as we'll have to have a little astronomy lesson here, but I just see it as a step closer to the death of the star, and so I'm like,
yeah,
I'm good with that.
We got about 3 billion years before it goes kaputs.
Just a short couple billion years.
Yeah.
It's funny you should ask, Wes, because did you know the world will end in about 1 billion years? All of Earth's water will eventually evaporate as the sun becomes more luminous, and the planet is not expected to survive the sun transitioning into a red giant.
So I did know that. I knew that because they have said that should mankind be able to trick Mother Nature in any way possible, that it doesn't matter because the sun is going to get the rays are going to get so close to the Earth, it's just going to fucking nothing will be able to grow, live, or what have you at that point. So I did know that.
But isn't it amazing that we're trying to go to Mars, which is the next planet over, and it's smaller, and that less people are going to be able to get off of this planet to go to that one because it's only going to be fucking billionaires and smart people that are able to make the jump. And so by the time, in 1 billion years, by the time we're able to colonize Mars, its atmosphere and its distance from the sun will be exactly the distance away that we are currently now to support life for like another 1 billion years.
Yeah, it should be like what's that Matt Damon movie? Where they have the
Martian?
No, no,
He makes potatoes out of poop.
Never mind. Thank you. I appreciate my friends. No, it makes sense though. Yeah. Then how long will Mars last? I don't know.
I guess another 1 billion years.
1 billion between Earth and Mars? I don't know. I'd say 1 million, maybe a couple. I mean, the sun is going
50, 60 years.
The sun is not going to last for another 3 billion years. It'll be done. It'll burn up all of its hydrogen.
It'll just get big. It will get bigger. I don't know. You're right. I don't know the exact lifespan of our current sun. I'm just saying, it'll be a while before it actually implodes and goes supernova. So how much heat does it have to give off to be functional for life to exist? I mean, there's people live in the fucking frozen tundra of Russia, so it doesn't have to be super hot. We're adaptable,
right? Yeah. Fair enough.
I think water is the key.
What will we be doing? Boat drinks? Things to do in Denver when you're dead? Running a podcast from a lake boat?
I was a former smoker, so I don't think I'm going to make it to 1 billion.
Boat drinks is an afterlife thing from a movie. Never mind.
Oh, got you. I'm sorry.
It's probably some other obscure movie.
Starring Roddy Piper.
No, Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. Starring Andy Garcia. Assholes.
Cool.
Can I do my finally now?
Yeah, sorry.
And finally, did you know, since we just celebrated April 1st, on April Fool's Day, 1976, the BBC announced that Pluto would soon pass behind Jupiter and reduce Earth's gravity, and that listeners would be able to feel like they were floating if they jumped into the air at exactly 9:47 a.m. It was meant as a joke, but hundreds of people called claiming that they had felt the Jovian plutonium gravitational effect.
Or the BBC Orson Welles to people, yeah?
Yes. And here's the key, though. 1976. When we wonder how dumb people can be, just know that in 1976, people thought because some moron on a fucking morning radio show, I was one of those people at one time, had convinced others that if they jumped at a precise time, that they would float in the air, and they thought they did.
People are dumb.
We ain't making it a billion years, man.
Yeah.
We ain't making it to Mars for another 2.
And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
Jumping up and down, and said, "Yep, I floated. Felt great.
I felt it.
I felt at peace."
By the way, I know I didn't prep you guys on this, but did you see, because it was April Fool's and all that shit, did you see the Michael Strahan thing where he supposedly had his the gap in his teeth fixed?
No,
Nah.
did he?
Well, here's the thing. He put the video out on March 31st, and he put it out on Twitter and all this stuff, and I'm just like, oh, April Fool's, and then I look at my phone, I'm like, oh, wait, tomorrow's April 1st. Have we gotten so far down the April Fool's rabbit hole that we now have to start it a day early? Because I know that motherfucker didn't get the gap in his teeth fixed. I'm not even going to look up if it's true or not. There's no way a guy at 50 years old who was... Do you remember the whatever NFL morning show he was on where they actually had the roller coaster come out from the gap in his teeth? The guy's made millions of dollars for a gap in his teeth.
So you're
He ain't
not
fixing that shit.
You're not going to look up Michael Strahan hot ass or nude, is what you're saying. First and foremost, yeah.
I'm gonna go straight to Mr. Skin. But no, I'm not gonna look it up. I can look up Michael Strahan gap. That's for sure.
You mean Gabe?
Yes.
That's definitely on Pornhub.
Shit.
That's one of the suggested ones of the day, I bet.
We got an abbreviated episode tonight. I'm going to a wedding this weekend, so I won't be able to edit a whole bunch of shit, but we're going to wrap it up here in a minute. Alan, where can you find us?
On the internet. No, you can find us on all your favorite social media platforms. We are at MDL Classholes on Instagram and Twitter. We're just the Middle Classholes on Facebook. And, of course, for all your streaming listeners out there, you can catch us on your favorite podcast platforms. That's Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts.
So are we now official sponsors and or supporters of this gentleman who's running the 6th district of Texas? What's his name? Former professional wrestler Big Dan Burley,
like Big Dan Rodheimer or something. Yeah, I'm in. I want him to win personally.
Well, only if he makes more videos. I mean, I don't think
if he doesn't keep doing this stuff, then I'm out.
Yeah.
If he doubles down, I'll support him. If he backtracks, he's dead to me.
Yeah. Like, I need him to get Real Texas on it. Like, I need him to fucking... Like, one of them has to be him, like... Him just by night vision hunting the chupacabra in Texas. Like, that's the kind of shit that I'm trying to see.
Right.
That's my guy. Right there.
And then feeding said chupacabra to a local town girl.
He'll feed, like a Nancy Pelosi made out of hay to the chupacabra.
Gotcha.
I was going to say he feeds the chupacabra to migrant Mexican children.
Yeah.
Or that.
Do you like medium or medium rare? Okay. All right. I love you.
Yeah. All types of good stuff. It's just one of him tailgating at a Longhorns game, like just him fucking shotgunning beers and fucking like
Doing
throwing up hook 'em
horns,
horns and like hitting on 18-year-olds, like. And then the requisite apology video and bagging his Lacoste polo.
They have a 5-game Delta here down in Texas. I don't know. They had one at UNLV. I don't remember. All right, folks. Good night.